Quantum Energy Information Series, recorded on October 7, 2017, regarding the divide, a future domed civilization, and preparation. There's a bridge. I'm seeing a bridge in front of me, a footbridge. It's timber, it's made of wooden bits and rope, and it's over a rushing water, and it's going across into what's like going into rock face or a mountain, because it goes directly into sort of a dark passageway. So it's sort of black around, the walls are black. That's what it is. It just looks like a mountain rock on the outside, but the walls are black, smooth and shiny inside. And there are lights somewhere. I'm not sure. It's not. I can see where I'm going.
Yeah.
The lights are down near the floor.
And what kind of floor is that?
Yes, it looks fairly smooth, with sparkly bits in it. Just like glowing lights. It's really reminds me of something you'd see on Star Wars in a movie, but it's a stronghold.
Yeah.
They say it's a stronghold, and it's hidden from the mainstream of life. The people, there's only a few important people on Earth today who know about this place.
So it is on Earth, this place?
Yes, it is on Earth. And so I've been drawn into this place, permitted to be here, almost sent to be here, to identify some of the changes that are happening. Some of the there's divisions. Apparently it's almost like the area on Earth, or Earth is an area that's being divided.
What's it being divided into?
Yes, it's because it's a sort of separation needed from the people who are causing problems and disruptions, separating them from the ones who are giving the life force, giving the light and information to the other people who understand that it's going to be going through a big time of shift. Earth is going to be changing tremendously, and already there's been enough signs on Earth for people to know this, to recognise this. So the purpose of me coming into this area today is to come into the gathering of other people who know this, who understand the process required to exchange information and to be given the plans that are needed for certain groups of individuals and people.
Can you recognise any of the other people that are there with you, that have been invited around you to be in this special place as well?
I'm not sure. I'm seeing lots of people, and they all seem happy energetic.
They're all peaceful, loving people.
Yes, but I'm not sure. They feel familiar, but I don't really recognise anyone that I know currently on Earth. Oh, well, there is one person. Oh, that's interesting. There's one person who comes to me for healing sessions, and I've been trying to get him to recognise what he is. He's there. So it's as if he's there in a higher level of consciousness. He wouldn't actually be there in person. I don't even know whether I'm actually there in person.
Well, can you perceive yourself to have a body at the moment or not? If you look down, would you see your feet or?
Oh yes, yes. I'm wearing some sort of very soft leather. I don't know if it's leather, but covering boots, and they come up to mid calf, and they're silvery looking, silvery sort of silver look. And in fact, what I'm wearing, I'm a woman, I'm me, because I'm wearing like a feminine attire tunic that comes down to just above the knee. And again, it's very soft fabric, and it's not grey. It's got colours in it, but it's like more like an iridescent colour. The clothes are.
Does it seem very futuristic, like in the future?
Oh yes, it's from a different civilization and dimension.
Right.
And I'm there. Yeah, that's me wearing that. And yet I'm still on Earth at the present time because it's all current. So it's like I'm taken into this space in another part of me. Even while I'm saying that, I'm aware of this body lying here talking to you.
So this is the divide that happens? Is this the divide between the knowing and the unknowing?
Yes. Yes.
How far into the future have you gone? Is it or is it another dimension? Can you get a sense of that?
I'm getting 200 years.
200?
I'm getting 200 years in the future. And it's preparation now. And we're being given the information now for the current time.
Okay.
To send back to those beings who know, who can prepare other people and bring them into consciousness, into conscious recognition of what is to be in the plan. We are involved in spreading, it's like a network or a grid that connects into certain places on the planet now, and they're almost like antennas, but they broadcast informational patterns in a sequence of very high, beyond our spectrum of hearing.
Is it like telepathic? Or?
Yes, in a sense. It's communication on a higher level. And there are many people on Earth who have the sensory perception to pick up the signals,
Mm-hmm.
the information coded in the signals.
Right.
So it must be made known.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about being there? How does it feel to be there, to be one of these?
It feels wonderful. I feel wonderful about it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if I've known that I would go into the space for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been preparing for it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And this part of me that's there, this is what I recognise, or would label my light body.
Mm-hmm.
So the light body is a vehicle that's been prepared for a long time to travel into this and other places
Mm-hmm.
that are hidden from the sight of other people.
Right. So you're within your light body now? Is that right?
Yes, in this space that is in existence. You know, it's existed hidden within this mountain for centuries.
So it's
For a
within a
long
mountain,
time.
is it?
Yes, it's almost disguised as a mountain.
Okay, like a pyramid-shaped mountain type.
Yes, a peak, that's right.
Wonderful.
It is like that.
And it's been disguised. Who's disguised it? Like,
We've come from a different place in the universe
mm-hmm.
of creation, and we've watched over the earth and its involvement for a long time,
mm-hmm.
and we've made sure that there's been the carriers of the information born into the earth
Mm-hmm.
who would be receptive to the energy,
Mm-hmm.
who would be drawn to it, who would awaken to it.
Okay, well, so would that be who they would, some would recognise as the rainbow or the starseed children or crystal children that are coming through now?
Oh yes, they're the ones who will receive.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they're the ones you're
Yes.
watching over to spread this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Even as we are talking about this and bringing it into knowledge, the ones who will be receiving it are sort of receiving it now.
Mm-hmm.
They would be knowing that something's happening
Yeah.
and that it's important, and they are connected in a big network around the planet.
Mm-hmm. Is it just around Earth, or is it the whole universe is helping Earth come to this happening?
The information is being fed from other planetary systems
Mm-hmm.
and dimensions into the grid to support and help,
Mm-hmm.
and help speed up the process.
Okay.
Simply because the way the Earth has been interfered with or developed, it is leading to a major change. There's got to be a shift and a change in
Mhm.
how it's been affected by the chemical overload and warfare and all of that type of toxicity.
Right. So
It's
this is
disintegrating the fabric of the earth.
right. So this is 200 years into the future from the present day. Is that
Yes, but the
right?
connections are happening in the present
They're
day.
happening now.
Yeah.
How are they happening now? Like, you mean with the humans on Earth now?
Yes, the ones who are coming in, even though we might talk about it as being several incarnations away, the information is carried through.
Right.
And there are many beings on Earth now who are going to still exist.
Right.
in that time period. You're not going to simply die, as the human body has been conditioned to die after a certain span. The time span of many of the humans on Earth is being extended, so they will still be alive.
Wonderful.
Some of these younger people will still be alive at that time. So the purpose of me being brought into this area is to awaken this in me as who I am on Earth today, and to strengthen my connections into this realm of information. The area that I go into and take other people into in my group gathering work is part of this, but this is another part that hasn't been revealed yet. This is all new to me, perhaps physically, and yet in this light body state I know it very well. It's like a commission.
So what is actually happening? What will the divide be? What's the plan there? What's happening?
It will seem as if there are different layers of the civilization that will emerge and exist and coexist. At the time there is a coexistence of these different layers of formation. Some of these young ones who are aware of it already, they are hopping in between the current pattern on Earth and these newer ones that is being formed. So as the energy frequency increases, there will be more of the population existing in this higher level and time frame.
And what are you actually doing there now? Like what do you do when you gather there and meet together?
We're working on the sectors and areas to be strengthened and more active areas being brought into play. We're working out the way to contact the people who will be needing to know this, who will have a greater influence to awaken other people, to touch the minds of other people, to give them the information about all of this in some way, so that they will recognise what is going to be happening, and they will be brought on board with it. So that's what we're doing. We're being shown more of the plan of what will happen, and we'll be giving the connections and the special information to some people. So there's whole groups of us present here in this energy structure. It's when I tune into it more, the beings here are receiving information, but it's a different dimension. While it's present within the mountain, it's present in another dimension way out beyond Earth. It's a different galaxy.
So the same thing, the same people, the same everything is in another dimension as well?
Yes, it's hard to describe in the way we view time and physicality. And it's like stepping into the centre of this energy structure puts me in the energy from this other universe. And this energy, well, now it's like that light body of me disappears and I'm just within energy. I'm just in energy. And this is the energy that is restoring. There's a pattern in this energy that is part of the human structure.
What is it that, what kind of advice could you give the humans today that are in this light work to be able to step into that light as well, into that same kind of energy? If that makes sense.
When you realise, when the ones part of this work realise that this energy is already here, it's just like opening a door into it in the mind, in the conscious mind.
Yeah.
The conscious mind of everybody in the work knows about this, knows that the connection to the universe is there to the knowledge and the plan, and it's just a matter of connecting in such a way that you open the door to it. And it doesn't come through in words, it comes through in light. And the pattern of the light is what has to be allowed to come through into the mind and the thoughts and the body. It washes away a lot of the darkness that you accumulate as human beings coming into the pattern on earth. And of course that was known, but it was the only way to get the light beings into the civilization and the many civilizations there have been on this planet. They had to go through the layers that created the planet until they came to the realization that it was time to open the door to receive what is almost a core informational pattern, and that's what the true life pattern on earth is about, to clear away the darkness, and in many cases for many people it's horror, so that they realise there's this doorway they can open into the universe. It may not explain it satisfactorily to you because we are talking about concepts and organic mechanics of the entire quantum of the universe that is not known to the mind pattern. But we are talking about allowing this light to come in through the open doorways of the light workers, the bringers in of the light. And so this is able to be accessed by everybody. By this one speaking and by by you listening and receiving. It's a doorway in the conscious mind. It's existed there almost as a protective barrier, but the time is needed for that to be surpassed, to be seen only as a limit, and to go through that to bring in the higher light and energy.
Interesting. So can I ask what the major shifts have been in the last 200 years for it to all be accumulated to this point, for it now to be happening?
There was the introduction into the planetary system on the Earth plane of very many devices. They were energy devices that were planted, some within the Earth structure itself, underground, some on top, and some as energy systems that were generally not physically visible to the human pattern of eyesight. Now they are becoming visible as gateways and doorways to move into the higher state of energy, which is a civilization. And yes, so there was the presentation of these places, devices and structures into the earth plane.
And who put them there?
There are many groups, many beings from different dimensions and civilizations.
Okay, so not humans from Earth, it was from...
Well, no, but they were from the future and from a future Earth who come back to help the present time. So the future consciousness, self-consciousness of some individuals comes back into individuals now. And this has happened over many centuries to bring in the energy and information to shift the planet.
So the ones that are all there, they've been born into the world knowing, they remember and they know what they're supposed to be there for?
There are various degrees of knowing. And some have known they had work to do. Some have known that the life pattern on Earth had been disrupted and it was wrong in terms of the civilization that could have been. And others came in and had been, in a way there was interference to try and block them from remembering. But that doesn't matter, because those who are meant to be remembering and active will remember.
Where was the interference from though?
Some of it was caused by other beings who do not want Earth to progress. Who do not want the Earth to be as it is. And so there was, and some of those beings had evolved on Earth. So there's the continuation of existence, you see, and there are layers of existence. And there are ones that do not directly want the Earth beings to evolve and create a very powerful presence as the earth, because that enables an expansion of the universe as it continues to expand and exist with different degrees of consciousness. Earth could have been used to expand information and allow physical travel to deeper parts of existence. Some still being formed, but it was meant to be a place that people could evolve on and expand into a type of civilization where there was agreeable communication between everyone, where there was support of everybody, and just a level of creating harmony and beauty and patterns of the universe that would represent existence of beings who understand more of what a life of pure energy could be. So Earth had become engrossed in matter. The people on it became engrossed in matter, and it became destabilized in that way. At the present time there are many beings who left Earth coming back. This is what we call the future self coming back to help the present to evolve.
So those who have passed over already are coming back in now, knowing that they will be there to help?
Some are. There are still some who've passed over who do not immediately evolve back to higher levels. And those are some of the ones who interfere. They're still held back in the consciousness of humanity that is greed and anger and destruction.
Even when they've passed over, they still hold on to that?
Some do.
Right.
Some do.
Yeah, how come they do, and how come some do and some don't?
It is just the degree of their involvement.
Right.
They're not prepared or not able to let go of the commitments that were made on Earth, and that level in many ways has kept repeating itself.
So usually those that reincarnate, they do come back into a higher level of consciousness?
Some do, yes, some do.
Okay. And why do those some do? Why do just some
come back to evolve? They
Is that those who choose to, that want to come back?
They do want to come back. And some recognise that they need to clear patterns before they can evolve. Right. It is to do with vows, binding vows. So those who are more aware have also come forward to help those people clear the vows, to dissolve the patterns.
Are these vows that have been given on Earth or on the other side?
Well, there are many existences, and some have been given from other existences, not on Earth, on other planets, some vows. Some of the vows, you see, evolve not because of just human civilization on Earth. It is a desire to understand and experience many layers of creation. So we're talking about a very vast dimension here. It is very complex. So it might help you to understand, but we do want to also have you be aware that the overall purpose and presence of beings, of consciousness, is to be uplifting and clearing, to sort out the problems, and to bring in the core essence of creation, which is the pureness. So this is part of the presentation of the beings into this pattern to help them remember the plan and to give them the new areas to work in, to establish the light cities and civilizations.
So if we can move forward, some more from where you are there and within the place and getting ready and learning about the divide and preparing for the divide, can we move forward to an important time and place, an important time and space? And now you are there. You can tell me what is happening now. Tell me what's happening.
I feel as if I'm still on Earth, I think, but I'm aware of a protective layer. It's almost like a clear layer around. I thought it was all around the Earth, but I think it's just around sections, huge areas of land and water, almost like protective domes, atmosphere, and it's almost like there's a different colour in the air that you see. It's almost like seeing not a haze, but I'm aware that the energy is different. That's what it is, the energy is different.
In what way?
It seems to be that we've had to create areas to live in that are protected.
From the outside environment?
Yes.
Right.
They're big areas. Cities, huge areas. And it just seems to be still Earth.
Yeah.
But these areas, I feel around me, everybody is similar in intention.
Okay.
The intention is pure.
So it's all pure intentions.
Yes, supportive. I feel as if there's been great healing done on Earth of areas that have become contaminated or destroyed by fires. I'm talking about cities and forested type areas, as if there'd been a lot of destruction, and now it had been somehow areas have been healed.
And that's where they put the domes?
Yes, to keep it secret.
And what's inside the domes?
This is where we are living, whole areas.
Okay, so it's still got land and grass and trees and
Yes, yes, much have been regenerated, and that's interesting because it's been regenerated from within the earth, from underneath the earth, as if they've been container devices or something that created that whole code of patterns, a way to re-establish land. It was some technology that I don't understand about that was used to create these areas.
Yeah, so who did create this technology? Was it humans or was it?
Yes, these were future humans,
Yeah.
but they were, we talk about humans, but there are different types of humans, and they have different appearances, but still we would call them humans because a humanoid has arms and legs and eyes, and it's very, very similar, but they exist in other galaxies.
Right, but they were born on this earth, they were born into this world, into this earth as well?
Yes, some have been, and some have not. Some have been watching over the earth and come to the earth to activate these devices that created these energy helix to help us.
So that it was a combination of both all planetary systems and dimensions to help heal the earth and create these domes and that technology?
Yes.
So the usual normal humans were able to accept that, and they're accepting of that now.
Yes.
These hundreds of years later.
And we're taking part in the whole pattern as well, the whole scheme of it all. Yes.
Whereas now they seem to want to cover up a lot of these things and don't want to know about it. Many do, but many of the most powerful governments don't seem to want to work with them.
That's correct.
So is this about to change like now, like in the present day that we're in now in 2017? Is that, how soon is that going to start changing and they start working together with the others? Was there any history there from
Yes, I'm not able to determine that. But it's happening already. There are areas who are working above the governments. I just sense it as being above the governments.
Yeah.
Who are working in this, I want to say humanistic way, because the true humanistic way is the higher way.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a light. It's a higher way of light. Yes, that's the true humanistic way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
not the subhuman way. Yeah.
Right.
So that's existing already. And there are individuals in contact who know about that. But at this stage, they are restricted or not able to talk about it freely, because even now there is a distortion of the truth of what's being brought forward and being presented as the truth. But even that is distorted because people still are being shielded from the real way of existence and truth. So there's still a lot of that to be cleared away.
Yeah.
Because you see, it's still being coming forward that yes, sure, there's the government and level of cover-up, but there's still the presentation that there is beings who will come to take over the earth.
Yeah.
And that is designed by those ones who want to hold the population in fear and control them. So that is not the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The higher humanistic truth is about the level of beings who communicate telepathically and who have the original intention of creating a civilization of ongoing light and support.
Light and support to help Earth grow or help the universe grow? What's it all for?
Yes, if Earth has helped to grow and expand, it expands the universe.
Right. And what is the purpose for it? What is that greater plan of expanding the universe?
It's an expression of the creative source energy, intelligence, to express itself. And that's still only a part of it, because it's not able really to be comprehended. We just move step by step with the bits that we can understand and work with, and what the particular purpose is for life in the present existence and moment.
So is it all about, at the moment, is it about creation or God and the greater collective energy?
It's always about that, of bringing that in, because that helps stabilise the existences, it helps uplift, and it helps people understand that they are light beings.
Okay. So this far in the future, where you've gone now, over 200 years ahead, everyone on Earth do understand that? Do they?
In the protected areas they do. I feel there are still areas that some do not.
So there's some living outside of those protected areas?
Yes, it's as if they live in a different world.
And what's that world like?
Well, it continues pretty much as Earth is now.
Right.
They are the ones who don't want to know.
Right.
And accept.
So that's where the divide was, is it?
Yes. It's presented as a physical divide, and yet the areas that are protected and domed are of a higher vibration.
Okay.
So the other ones who do not know do not even see these domed areas.
Right. So they're invisible to them.
Yeah, the two areas do not interact.
So they're not even aware that they're there?
True, they do not know.
But those in the dome are aware of the other side?
Yes, they are aware of the other side, and they do not even need to they understand them, but they do not need to try and lift them up. Because in time they're all on their own pathway to evolve.
So is the plan that they will eventually all get like that on Earth? They will eventually all have pure intentions on Earth?
That is the plan. I sense that it will just expand. The light areas will expand. Yes.
And so so those ones outside of the protected areas will incarnate back.
They can continue to have that subhuman existence, but as the light expands, it catches more of those ones in. They begin to understand. And in a sense, they can then be absorbed into the light city areas.
Right.
It's
So
a bit more complex than that, but that's a
Yeah.
simple understanding.
Right. So eventually maybe the whole planet Earth will be the dome area, will be full of pure intentions and light and love without the low vibrations.
That is the intention. Yes.
Do you see that ever happening? Are we able to move forward and forward and forward some more into the future? If we drift and float some more forward and forward and forward and forward to another day, another important time and space, where you may see a lot of peace and love around. Are you able to see that?
I do see and sense that. Yet it seems to be linked again with an area that separates off, or is, perhaps it's in existence somewhere else, that the same pattern needs to happen.
Okay.
So it is as if new areas get formed and it goes through the whole process again.
Right, so within that area outside the dome, a whole new pattern of what's happened on Earth happens there. New areas are created.
New areas are created. It's almost like a new planet is formed that goes through the same process.
A new planet like Earth?
Yes, and how Earth was a long time ago. Yes, that's how evolution begins.
Right.
The new planets come into existence. And then again it is needed to be inhabited, it's needed to be developed and evolved.
And then would people from Earth help with that creation, or would that be from other planets?
That time will probably be seen as the future higher evolved ones going back to help the new evolution. It's multi-spheres. You know, when we talk about the future, and yet it is existing already, and it's just the focus and intention and the vibration of the individuals or groups of individuals who are able to vibrate with the areas that they can go into, even to observe. It becomes a big expansion and a lot to unfold.
Yeah. It's a lot of
But it's all going according to plan.
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The ones who know the plan are working with the plan.
And do you stay on Earth? Do you stay in this place for a longer time now? Does everyone there stay within this protected area, this beautiful place with pure intentions, for hundreds of years? Or is
We stay as long as we are needed.
Okay.
In that state, you see, we can evolve and evolve into a different state where we would be free to progress to other areas and assist. I feel I would be present in that domed civilization area for many turnings of the earth. I cannot measure it,
Right.
because time seems to have shifted and changed.
So the way humans in there think of time is not the same as we do in this day.
No, it changes.
Mm-hmm. And that's how they were able to evolve.
Yes, and perhaps that's how we see an extended life pattern.
Mm. Right.
Yes.
And within these domes, do they still carry on life? You still carry on life as you would here with family and...
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's families and generations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what about the belief systems there though, like with the church and the different religions? Are they still within that space, within the dome?
There seems to be a collective understanding of what creation is, and how everyone is an aspect of that creation. So it's not generally used as a means of congregation or beliefs or study or adoration. It's just a whole respectful knowingness of creation, the source energy of everyone, and honouring and acceptance of everyone and their own life path.
Wonderful. It sounds like a beautiful place to be.
It is.
I hope to be there someday too. So, okay, is there anything else that you're aware of that you want to talk about while you're there? You can share?
Oh, just to be aware that the beings, there are many beings aware of bringing in light and establishing the new civilization, the uplifted type of intention, awareness, pure light.
Okay.
There's many involved. The more that it is spoken about, then it becomes a greater reality.
Right. So if it's appropriate, can we move you forward to the last day of your life in that space? And can you tell me what happens there, or how it is that you transition to your next stage of evolution?
I sense that it's almost like a metamorphosis. The body vehicle is laid down, and I see like a vortex of energy come down over the body, and it lifts part of the body. It's still like a form, just still a form, and I go in that other form, and it's almost like I've transformed or transmuted the body, because it was my time. I didn't need that body anymore. And it sort of dissolves and there's nothing left. And I'm able to be free again of having that particular body in that particular role, and I just go away into a place of light. I have a form. It's like a golden energy form, and I go into another space with other beings like that.
So So you don't spend too long in between
No.
passing over until you go on to the other.
Oh, well, I think that this is where I pass over into, to just reconnect back into a group.
Your source.
Yeah.
So you're in a golden form, and then you reconnect with others in the same form.
Yes.
And this is where you go back to each time you pass over. Is this the same place you go?
Well, I have come back here many times. Other times. Yes.
Does it feel very familiar to you?
Yes.
Do you know, does that have any kind of name or anything like that, or any kind of language and how you communicate together in that form?
I don't get a name. And we seem to just merge into oneness, one consciousness.
And is this all over on the spirit side? Are you on as a spirit now, or are you on another planet?
I seem to be just in a state of suspension, just with these, in this level of, well, we're conscious of being individuals, but we're conscious of the oneness as well.
And do you remember everything from the life that you just lived? That time when you've just been down, when you've been on Earth? Are you able
I carry a memory of some sort of it, of the experience of it, because that is shared with everyone that I've reconnected with. And it's almost like it gets unrolled from me, cleared from me.
Right. So then you can be clear again and free again?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Unrolled. Interesting. So if you look back onto that life down on Earth that you saw in the future there, was there any life lessons or anything that you could have learnt from that life? Or were they already learned? Because every life has a lesson and a purpose. Did that life have a lesson, or had you evolved further than that by that stage?
It was just like being present to bring in the pattern of light.
Right.
I didn't seem to be interacting much with other people in the sense of living, and yet I had a body. I don't understand it.
So you can sense the purpose, but not the purpose of you being there is to bring light.
Oh yes, the purpose was very strong to observe and bring in the energy, light, and to and to be amongst the people, to be there, but not really. I didn't really get much involvement with them. But I was with them. I was with the people. I was a person there.
Yeah. So you still had emotions in that life, like the normal human emotions, but they'd been lifted.
They were very good. They were very joyful times.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very joyful.
Wonderful.
It's almost like I was just presented there. I don't remember growing up there as we do.
Yeah.
I just remember being there. And for a certain time or purpose, and then it was time for me to go.
Okay. Is there anything else from that perspective that you want to mention now? Anything else before we move on?